Welcome to Toffee TV. This is the instant max reaction to Aston Villa 1, Everton 3. A victory. That's what it was. It was a victory. It was 3 points at Villa Park. Yeah. Listen, it's good to be back in winning ways. It's good to be scoring goals. I would have liked to have a clean sheet. That would have been nice. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Obviously, one change in the starting lineup. Kevin Morales coming in for Tom Cleverley. He looks like maybe he's got a knock because I don't think he was on the bench either. Obviously, we scored quite early. Was it 4 minutes? Funes Mare scoring a commanding header from a set piece, which is fantastic on its own. And then we just stopped. We just tried to play nice football and just keep the ball. Reminds me of a lot of the Bournemouth game in the first half. We played a lot of tidy keep ball without really going anywhere. And for about 25 minutes, we didn't really do much. Obviously, we've got the second goal. Obviously, Lennon, good finish by Lennon, good work by Barkley and Morales on the left. Cut Villa open to make it 2-0. Villa had a few chances actually. You know, Joe Robles has had to make a couple of saves. Nothing fantastic, but a couple of saves in the goal. And to be honest, I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the first half because I think Villa are absolutely terrible. I think they're there for the taking. We're there for the taking. I think they're an appalling side. They've just got no heart. They were very narrow tonight as well. Very narrow, which left loads of space out wide, which we capitalised for the second goal and into the second half, capitalised for the third goal. And I'd like to have seen us do more of that because I think we tried to keep the ball too much down the middle of the park and tried to keep possession, where I would like to have seen us be a lot more direct and just get it down the flanks and just have a good go at them. I don't think we did that enough. And you know, you've seen we've scored 2 goals from crosses. Well, 3. Sorry, if you count the first one, we scored 3 goals from crosses, 2 in open play. So I think I'd like to have seen us do more of that. You know, we were quite reserved. We were quite willing to play within ourselves, which is fine. That's not a problem. You know, if a football team senses it's going to win a game, obviously being 2-0 up, that's fine. I just would have liked to have seen us, especially in the second half, first 15 minutes, we didn't really do anything. And then obviously we scored the goal. First of all, you know, Rom, great header to force the corner, which comes from a cross. And then obviously scores from Funes Mare, put it back in after the corner. And I'd like to have seen, do you know what? I think we probably could have scored every other cross tonight. And once we got 3-0 up, really we didn't do anything in the second half. We only had a couple of chances. And I just would have liked to have seen us when we got 3-0 to go, do you know what? Let's be positive and let's rack this up. These are finished. But for some reason, it went the other way. Villa responded. And, you know, the fans reacted. They started backing them. And we just sort of sat back and went, well, we're happy with this. Which I suppose, again, it's fine. But I'd like to have seen us turn the screw. I really would. I would have liked to have seen us turn that screw tonight and just be positive. And but it felt like at the end, unbelievably, we were hanging on, which is mental, absolutely mental, against a really, really poor Villa side. And I know a lot of people are happy with the 3 points, and I'm happy with the 3 points. Of course I am. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying it's Aston Villa. I would have liked to have seen a few goals tonight. The substitutions, he brought John Stones on. Someone explain that to me, because I know a lot of people are saying to me on Twitter, well, it's to give the lad 20 minutes. Why not make 2 changes then? Why not bring him on and bring the ass on at the same time and say, well, all right, we're bringing Stones on to shore her up at the back, but we're going to change something up front as well. We're going to take Lennon off, or we're going to take Rom off, or we're going to take Ross Barkley off, and give the ass a go. Give him 20 minutes. You're 3-0 up. Why not give him a go? Get him fit. And that's a position, you know, left-hand side of midfield, that's a position where we don't really have a natural fit. We have players who can play there, but we don't really have a natural fit. So that one was a strange one for me, because I just felt it through it unbalanced. Was he playing right back? Was he playing as a third centre back? It just sort of for me at that point, as I say, I'd like to have seen us go for the throat, really, really make a statement. You know, first game of the Mr. FM, his tenure at the club. I would have liked to have seen us just go for them. That's it. That's all I was annoyed about. I just really would have liked to have seen us just go there. You know, you've seen Liverpool go there a couple of weeks ago and score 6. I would have liked to have seen that. I would have really, really liked to have seen it. That's all. You know, I think we let them have a little bit too much of the ball when they had the ball. I don't think we were snappy enough. And, you know, listen, I'm picking faults. We've won 3-1. I know people will say, why are you picking faults? I just think Villa are a terrible team, a really, really poor team. And that's all. But, you know, I'm made up that we got the three goals. Aaron Lennon, again, did well. I thought he did well out wide. Morales did well for that goal. Lukaku was pretty quiet all night, but I don't know. I keep saying this: if you put the ball in front of him or crosses in front of him, he'll score the goals for you. It actually was crying out for a bit of a 4-4-2 tonight, a little bit more support. Again, he was isolated again. When you think you're playing a team like Villa, get players up to support him. We just didn't do enough of that. But, you know, listen, those players might feel like it was really comfortable. But, you know, in the last 5 minutes there when they got that goal, you know, they put a cross into the box. I think Oviedo was off at the time and Baines hadn't come on. So they've got a little bit more room on that side to put the cross in. And Gestede, who's really good in the air, beats 2 of our centre-backs and puts it in, which was disappointing. Disappointing to not have the clean sheet because, you know, that's a big thing for me. And that should be a big thing for them. And for that last 5 minutes, we were a little bit nervy. We were a little bit hanging on. 3-1 up at Villa. And we're feeling a little bit nervous. Shouldn't have to feel like that. But I'm picking holes. But that's what I do. I pick holes because we've got 3 big games coming up now. West Ham, Chelsea in the FA Cup, and Arsenal obviously in the Premier League. So we've got 3 tough home games coming up now. And that's all it is. You know, I know I'll come to the comments in a minute. I know there's different people. I'll say different things, and that's fair enough. That's their opinion. This is my opinion. When you're playing the crap teams, it's nice to make your mark. It really is. It's nice to make your mark. It's something we've done this season. You know, we've beaten Sunderland convincingly. We beat Villa convincingly at home. Beat Newcastle convincingly at home. It's nice to make a mark. It's nice to beat a team comfortable, inspires confidence. It gets people excited. It gets people excited for the next game. And that's all I would like to have seen tonight. Just us go for the. You know, when we got that 3rd goal, I would just have loved us to have gone right. Let's have a go here. And I don't think we had another shot about the last couple of minutes, which is. That disappoints me a little bit. I'd like to have seen the ass brought on then and said, lad, go and stretch your legs. Okay, if you want to bring John Stones on, bring them both on at the same time. Make a couple of changes. 20 minutes to go, whatever it was. You're 3-0 up. Why not? Why not? You know, I'd like to have just seen that. Let's go for it a little bit more. That's my only criticism, I suppose. They're terrible. They're terrible. So, you know, that's something you got to think of as well. They are a very, very poor side. I mean, we've beaten them 3-1 tonight with actually not getting out of second gear. So I suppose that is a positive. We really haven't got out of second gear. I don't know why we haven't got out of second gear, and that's my only criticism. I'd like to have seen us get out of second gear. I'd like to have just seen us, you know, go for a little bit more. Right. Q&A sections there. I've always asked for your questions. We've had some in. Paul wrote was the first one in. He says, evening Ped, decent result against the poor side, but we're too sloppy in our play. Well, that's exactly what I've just been saying, Paul. You know, Villa are a very, very poor side. Let's not be doing cartwheels because we've just beaten Aston Villa 3-1. You know, let's look at it and think, you know, we've beaten them, but there's a lot to improve on there, and that's all you want to see. You just want to see the players, and we've had this criticism before, me and Baz, when we've played these sides. Why not go and hammer them? Why isn't there a feeling of going to hammer them? Villa at home, I think we scored our 4th goal around the 60-minute mark. Aston Villa Sunderland was exactly the same. I think we scored our 6th goal, 65th, whatever. Why aren't we going to get more goals? Why does, you know, Rom? This is where Rom should be, you know, clocking them up. this is where people like Morales, who want to be permanent members of the first team, should be, throwing everything. That's all my criticism is. Carla Byrne says, if you were to rate the performance out of 10, what would you give it? I don't give it a 5. Honestly, I just think I thought they were awful. I thought they were absolutely awful. And I think you should hammer awful teams. Christopher Egon says, not the best performance, but a win is a win. But those subs, why mess with the centre-backs? Our threat is down the flanks. Takes Coleman off and Lennon has to drop back. There goes our threat. I wouldn't complain about an ugly win, but the manager subs. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Christopher, but it didn't have to be an ugly win. I love ugly wins. They're great. You go to an away ground and sneak a win, that's great, but I didn't think that was an ugly win. I think we made that an ugly win. I think it should have been a very, very comfortable win tonight, and we've made it a lot harder than it needed to be. Michael Swan says, Morales has to start versus West Ham. Link-up play was boss, and set pieces were sound. Awful performance all round. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on Morales. I'd like to have seen more of him. Again, against the very, very poor Aston Villa side, I'd like to have seen more out of him. That's all. And I think when you're playing a team like Aston Villa, and when you're dying to keep your place in the team, I think you should be doing more to keep that place. That's all. That's all. And Lagan Chav says, tonight showed that we can play with Jerry or Lennon on the right and still have Kevin on the left. Having those two on the pitch, the main beneficiary was Ron. Has tonight shown that it can be done? However, we have to remember that it was Villa. It's Villa. That's all I'm going to say. Villa are terrible. I think you get a better game against a team in the top 6 of the Championship at the moment. They're a poor side. Who've got no heart, nothing, no belief. They've got no belief they can stay up. No belief. That's been taken away from them completely. The club doesn't think it can survive. So that's why I'm a little bit disappointed, because I just think we should have gone there tonight and just hammered them. Just kept knocking on that door, and I just don't think we did. Now, whether that's because we've been away for like 10 days, and there's almost like a warming back up process, I'm not sure. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But the most important thing to think about is that it is 3 points. That it goes in the win column. That's all that matters at the end of the day. That's the most important thing. That it's in the win column. So, Saturday we're playing a much tougher side. Sometimes when you're playing a tougher side, your team steps up to that. When you're playing a poor side, sometimes you get sucked into it. Paul Roti says, "What's Murray worth, Ped? If 40 million for Stones?" I don't know. Ask me that at the end of the season, because I think Murray's good. I think Murray's gone past the expectations, but I still think he's got a lot to learn in terms of defending. So come back at the end of the season and we'll have a chat about that. Stickleback says, we just don't have the killer instinct, which is what holds us back. Good win, yes, but they were there for the taking. Roberto Martinez needs to install a ruthlessness in the team, or it will be his downfall, especially with the Moshi monster watching. I absolutely wholeheartedly agree. We don't have that killer instinct enough. We don't have the instinct to keep going at teams and keep clocking up goals and enjoy the goals. Enjoy going to beat teams 6 or 7-0. Why not? Why not go and do that? It's fun. Michael Swan says, West Ham will suit us massively. They'll come and attack, and we'll be able to counter-attack them all day. I'm not sure about that. I think West Ham will come and try and counter-attack us. I think that's why they've been so good on the road. West Ham West Ham are quite solid at the back, and they allow you to come on to them. So I think it will be them trying to counter-attack us. It's whether we try and counter-attacking them, which is Isn't that what Klopp does? Isn't that what that whole thing is? But talking of pressing, I think that's one thing that definitely needs to be installed in this team is the ability to press. Because far too many times in that game, Villa picked up the ball in their own half, and we never got the ball again till they made a mistake. And I think that's our biggest. That is our biggest sole problem in this team. That we allow other teams too much of the ball, far too much of the ball, and that's something that needs to be addressed. You know, I've said before about Barry being in the side. Listen, when he's in the side, he's normally like man of the match. But that's why I want Bessage and McCarthy in there, because I think with two pressing, I think suddenly our game would go up massively, and we'd be pinching the ball off teams higher up the pitch and being able to counter them with by doing that. I think that's so important. I think Barry's so good because he just sits in front of the back four and he sees danger, but sometimes it is so deep that you're still in danger. Or if he does it one out of the 2 times, the other time the team are getting a shot off. I'd like to see us starting to work harder to win the ball higher up the pitch. I think that needs to be addressed massively because we just allow teams too much possession. Cumbrian Toffee says, thought yet again Lukaku was poor, needs a rest. Timing is miles out, especially on header, jumping far too early. Even his goal bounced off his knee. If Bobby ain't going to rest him, then he needs to be played in 4-4-2 now in the final third. I absolutely agree about the 4-4-2. I think that's something that we can start doing a little bit more in some games where, you know, we throw them up front with a part. I think what we stopped doing, and listen, it's no coincidence because Delafeu's not in the side. Delafeu had a brilliant ability to put the ball right in front of Rom, or his crosses were right in front of Rom. And since Delafeu's gone out the team, it's no coincidence that Rom's goals have dried up. You know, look at the goal tonight. That's a kind of cross that Delafeu puts in. You know, for all our other wing players, as good as Lennon's been, you know, in and about, he doesn't do that. He doesn't put the ball in front of players for tap-ins. He just doesn't do that enough. You know, his final ball can let him down at times, Lennon. So I think it is a factor of Jerry being out the side and Ron. They're perfect chemistry in their football. And look at how many goals he scored from it. And now Jerry's not on the team. Rom's goals have dried up pretty much. So the other players, if Jerry's not good enough to get in the side at the moment, then the other players have got to start looking at where Ron wants the ball. He started to have to come short again. He started to have his back to goal again. That's not where Ron's good. Go back to October, November, December. Go back to those 3 months and look where Romelu Lukaku's scoring his goals from. He was scoring from the ball getting put in front of him, being able to run onto it. He was scoring from the ball getting zipped along. And maybe he does need a rest. But, you know, maybe he does. Maybe that's one thing we need. But he's just, I suppose you say that, we just had 10 days off. So, you know, does he need a rest because he's just had a rest? But I don't think we're helping him. I don't think he helps himself at times, but I don't think we're helping him. And I think we need, if Jerry's not going to be in the side, then the other players have got to look to see what Jerry does. Jerry puts the ball in front of Ron. You know, you watch all those goals Jerry sets up for Ron, the ball is always in front of him. And that's all he's got to do. You know, look at when he's running. He gets the ball at his feet and he starts running. Far too much in the last month or so. He's got his back to goal or he's coming short. That's not Rom's game. That's when he starts getting frustrated and we start getting frustrated as fans. So go back to doing that and we'll score. He'll score more goals. It's as simple as that. Right, I'm going to wrap it up. As I say, 3 points sets us up nicely. It continues the momentum of the Moshi Monster area, Mr. FM. It keeps the feel-good factor going. That's all it's about. Performance wasn't brilliant, but, you know, listen, we'll have forgot about that. Forgotten about it already, pretty much, until tomorrow when me and Baz will be on the final word, dissecting it and going through it. But maybe we'll be nice and chilled out by then anyway. I'm pretty chilled out now, actually. I've chilled out in the last 10 minutes by doing this. So don't forget, catch us then. Don't forget, go and watch all our takeover videos we've done. like 8 takeover videos. We've done one on the man himself. We've done one on the stadium. We've done one on Bill Kenwright staying at the club. We've done one on the future. We've done one on the fans. We've done our reaction videos from last week when the takeover got announced. We've Baz sat down with Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV to give us an Arsenal perspective of it. You know, that's a must watch. That is a must watch. You know, and he's like that. Oh my God. You've got the man we wanted to keep. So it's all positive. Go and watch those videos. They're only like 10 minutes each. You know, they're not going to, you know, go and watch a couple of them tonight. Keep the feel-good factor going. 3 points were made up. Don't forget to subscribe. We want that 8,000. Twitter at Toffee TV 1. We're on Facebook at / Toffee TV EFC. We're on Instagram, Toffee TV 1. We're on all those things. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.